Niscemi, a town of almost 25,000 people, is collapsing, and it seems the whole town, the whole mountain is collapsing in a rotational landslide. And guys, there's news. Now, of course, there are accusations. Could have something been done earlier, but we see historic buildings collapsing and at the brink of collapse and in the red zone. And the problem here is these historic buildings also contain a lot of historic things, books and artifacts. I want to show you the library that is basically hanging over the cliffs with roughly 4,000 historic books. And that's not all, guys. There's so much new. Minister of Civil Protection Nello Musumeci has said something, because we know there was already the start of that landslide in 1997. So almost 30 years that they knew that Chizzy's going to hit the fizzy. And you know, for me, the question arises, well, how can you have a library with such valuable records of history that is now hanging on the cliff and you haven't secured it earlier? Because it was kind of obvious that something like this would happen, right? Now we have a red zone that is at least 500 feet towards the town center, 150 meters, and there probably will they will probably extend it another 500 feet. So basically this whole thing is coming down, guys, and the new images are absolutely, if I say groundbreaking, it's kind of weird, but that's what it is. It's not only that cliff that you see, the brown area, it's the whole mountain below that looks like with ravines and cliffs and fractures. This thing is massive. And the library of Niscemi teeters on the brink of disaster. So many people say, let's save the history of that Italian town that is mostly there in these historic books. But the library, I mean, if the press says it's in the disaster zone, the library is almost down in the abyss. It's hanging. Part of it is already hanging up in the air. So if they want to save something, they should hurry up. Would be great to have some robots who could do it, right? They're doing inspections of many buildings in the historic town center, in churches, trying to save artifacts and artworks, right? There's a number of buildings of historical interest that they say are subject to protection. Why do you come up with this in the last minute? That is the big question. But the Angelo Marziano Library holds about 5,000 books, mostly dedicated to the history of the city and belonging to the historian after whom the library is named. And it's located within the red zone. It's barely hanging on. It's not possible to approach it right now because it is barely hanging on. If you go in there, the moment it collapses, that would not be good. So they do not have a direct verification of the condition of the building and the books. And they say that in the coming days, the civil defense and firefighters will evaluate the actions that could be taken based on a technical documentation that hopefully will be provided very soon. They want to make floor plans available and the possibility of recovering the books. This is really sad because, you know, it's not that this library stands at the edge of the cliff since yesterday, basically since 1997. So relocate that collection would have been something that would have made sense, don't you think? Leave me a comment. What do you think? Are they late with that? And while you're doing this, do me another favor. Please leave this video a like and a hype. Doesn't cost you anything, but it helps my channel. Thank you so much for doing that. So, Minister Musumeci has said today, I don't know why he's saying this. Do they want to cover up that they have really been sleeping here in Sicily, Niscemi? Because now they're saying 94% of Italian towns have at-risk areas. Yeah, okay. But this thing had already been dealing with the problem since 1997 and even earlier. So it was just a matter of time. They knew that. So why was there not action taken earlier. And he's probably saying that because there's something he's been involved with Niscemi in the past. Normally, we only hear of him, Musumeci, in correlation with Campi Flegrei, the supervolcano in Naples, with more than 6 million people in the greater Naples area, where Scesi could hit the Fizzy soon as well. No. I'll tell you in a second. So that's why this is so interesting. So he has reported to Parliament just yesterday. And that's why he said that, right? Oh, well, basically whole Italy has a problem, right? So he said the extreme weather from Cyclone Harry that has just happened a few days ago has caused over 2 billion euros of damage in Sicily, in Sardinia, and Calabria. And of course, this huge catastrophe, this is more than a landslide, right? It's a mountain collapse in Niscemi. And so he says, quote, "The risk of landslides in Sicily is not an emergency, it is structural." Yes, it is an emergency, and it has been since 1997, because now, they knew the geology since then. Clay and sand that is underneath a seemingly stable top layer. And they knew what this can do. So it's not that they woke up a few weeks ago and oops, they knew it. And here it comes. Musumeci was the governor of Sicily from 2017 to 2022. So of course people are now saying, well, why have you not done anything? Why have you not started evacuations while people still could save their property and have enough time to find other properties? Because right now, as bad as the world is, guys, it is really bad. Since I think landlords in Niscemi knew that people are losing their homes, that people have to evacuate, over 1,600 people so far, the red zone, rents are going up. Rents are going up. So even in their own town, the landlords are raising the rent because they know there's a lot of people that need a place to stay right now. So according to the Environmental Research Institute, they had updated data in 2024, and there, according to Musumeci, 9 out of 10 municipalities on the island, on Sicily, have high-risk landslide areas. Yes, I don't dispute that. But in Niscemi, it already had started. We already knew which homes would be most at risk, right? So he says, the situation is certainly not better in the rest of Italy, where, according to scientists, over 94% of municipalities are located in areas exposed to hydrogeological hydro water, right? This is the problem. If the clay and that water layer gets soaked, it gets down the slope. Of course, avalanches, coastal erosion risks, yes. But, this is a different story here in Niscemi. I repeat myself, right? You've known for almost 30 years. Nothing has happened. And that's what's frustrating the residents. Look at the images. The car in the garage is hanging over the cliff. We see a home cut in half. It's like for a Barbie doll house, right? You see their furniture, their kitchen, their closets full of their stuff. They were not prepared. So he says climate change has made the situation worse. Come on, it started in 1997 and even before that, right? There's always going to be a storm when you're on an island that brings a lot of rain. So, and then he admits, but whether this was caused by humankind is up to debate. And I don't think this has anything to do with them not doing anything for the last 30 years. So he also said that, and now since he mentioned it, I think I'm right with what I say. He says, attempts to pin the blame on him for failing to prevent the landslide at Niscemi, which suffered a similar event in 1997, because of a report presented at the end of his term as governor were bogus. Yeah, I agree. Out of 30 years, he's been governor from 2017 to 2022. This should have started way earlier, but we can also say during his term, he also did nothing, right? This is what we can say. So he said the report in 2024 was an attempt to cover up a quarter of a century, more than that, right, of inertia, omissions, and underestimations by others. Yes, by others and him, I would say. Again, let me know your opinion. What do you think? So this was a quick update about what's going on there. More rain is in the forecast. Every day there's more stuff coming down. The soil is coming down. It is moving. So if they want to save the books in the library, they better do it fast, better yesterday than tomorrow. That is my opinion. But guys, so much is going on. So if you're new here, subscribe, join our awesome group, and thanks for the like and thanks for the hype. Share it with your friends, share it in groups wherever you can. Thank you for that. And it would be great if we did not have to part ways, and I could see you in a second, if you click one of these others one of the other videos, just one, and then you can binge watch them, or you go to my channel start page, click on videos, click on recent, then you never miss one. And click the notification bell. Sometimes YouTube really sends out notifications, not always, so always check my start page. I'm releasing videos every day. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Stay safe. I see you.